Bryan and Brian, 17 of 39. The small breakfast area of the Bay of Vallarta complemented the limited menu and quick turnover of the guests. The white-haired couple that sat at a table on the opposite wall from the Gunnarsons tucked in their chairs and smiled as they walked by, nodding and waving at Brian and his garland of flowers and bath towel superhero cape. "It seems that our capes and robes are a hit," Beth said quietly to Joe. "Indeed," Joe said before transferring the last gulp of coffee from his mug to his mouth. "And with you and King Brian as our models, I would expect no less. Speaking of our king," he added, jerking his head in Brian's direction, "it looks as though Mr. I Know Tired is falling under Mesmer's spell." "Well, that would be wonderful," Beth replied, finishing her coffee as well. "Did you want to take a mug of coffee up to the room?" "Not if we're going to try to sleep. Probably should have gone with tea or decaf, but the coffee smelled so good." "I think you'll be okay with just one mug. You want to carry up our superhero? I'll let you take the elevator and I'll run up the stairs and pull the covers down so all we have to do is slip in between the sheets and pray that he doesn't wake up for at least a couple hours." "Sounds like a plan," Joe acknowledged, nodding. "I'll let you get a head start." "No," he admonished as Beth started to kiss her son. "Let's not alert him to you leaving. Maybe he'll fall totally asleep." I doubt it, but optimism won't make it less likely to happen. "See you upstairs?" "What? No kiss?" he asked. "Well, I'd hate to alert Brian that I'm leaving," she teased. "See you in a minute." Joe shook his head in mock horror, his eyes and cheeks cast downward in a mask of sorrow. "The life of the royal chief consort," he said to the back of Beth's retreating form as he watched her head briskly out of the room until she reached the table for two that Brian had at first selected that sat by the window. There she paused, looking out the window briefly, her brow wrinkled in thought as she scratched her chin contemplatively before continuing. "I wonder what that was about," Joe asked himself as he bussed the table and then gently picked up his son and carried him in his arms to the elevator, slowing to look out at the veranda and wondering what it was his wife had seen that gave her pause. The couple that had waved to Brian were just entering the elevator as Joe rounded the corner and he stage whispered, "Hold the elevator, please." The man, brow furrowed, stuck his head out from the elevator, spotted Joe and Brian and nodded, a big grin spreading over his face. "Looks like you have your hands filled," he said as the door closed behind them. "What floor?" "3, please." "My pleasure," the man said, pressing 3. "My wife and I were just admiring your crowns," he declared with a wink, taking his wife's hand. "Thank you," Joe deadpanned. "When combined with the robes and the cape, they make us royal superheroes." "Really?" the woman asked as the elevator stopped at the second floor and the couple stepped out. "Maybe we'll have to try that," before adding, "could be an uplifting experience."